Hello and welcome to this short video on how to approve timesheets for Barchester care homes. We're going to show you in this video how to log in, how to navigate directly to your timesheets, how the timetable works in terms of agencies and you as approvers, and we'll basically answer, I hope, any general questions that you may have. So before we go in, just a couple of things that I think you may be interested in. You may be viewing this video directly from the support website, but I'm including information on this here in case this video has been downloaded and you've just been given the video file. But we do have a support website that's available for you as Barchester personnel, and basically you can log in here and go in and have a look at information that is relevant to you. And what we do on that is we include a lot of information for agencies that they can click on and look at, but equally there's a section there for you as approvers. So if you want to go in and refresh any information, you can do by just clicking into 247timesupport.co.uk. One thing I just want to spend a little bit of time is information governance. It's a real hot potato in terms of things relating to IT and information handling within the industry at the moment. I just want to spend a couple of moments just reinforcing some things that are really key. You mustn't share your information and passwords with anybody else. They are yours and yours only. So please don't hand out your passwords and usernames to anybody else. You'll see as you get used to 247 time and as you navigate around some screens that there are opportunities to download that information to your local device, and where you do so, it's really important that you keep that information confidential and destroy it when you're finished with it. Really important that you do that, and so that we also comply with the Data Protection Act in that data handling is kept as secure as we can possibly make it. And just really the last thing there is just to give you a reassurance that we don't trade or sell your information with anybody else. 247 time is just primarily a means of managing information between your agencies and your home and vice versa. Okay, and have a look at how you log in to 247 time. Well, the thing to do there first and foremost is to bookmark our URL. Now I believe that Barchester may have given you a link there between your intranet site and your desktops, enabling you to connect directly. But failing that, it is time2.247time.co.uk, as you can see here. If you do need to get hold of us, it's a local rate number. It's 0333 1014 247, and our email is support@247time.co.uk. So if you haven't got a username and password, please email support and we'll get those organised for you. So you'll enter your username and password in here. Anything you see in blue in 247 time is where you click to enter information or click to retrieve it. So forgotten usernames and forgotten passwords do exactly as they say on the tin, but you'll then click on login, and logins will get you then through to the dashboard. Now the dashboard, you can see here notices, and obviously that's up-to-date information that we think is important that you should see. We may equally send that directly to you by email, but for Belt and Braces purposes, we'll place it here as well, and you can look at any of the messages by just clicking on the blue. You see this top navigation bar here, which if you think of these as the drawers in a filing cabinet, this is where you go to look at any particular section to either enter information or click to retrieve it. And for those of you that approve more than one particular care home, you can switch between accounts by navigating through here, by switching accounts. Okay, so when you click then onto timesheets, up should come the timesheet for your particular home that you're going to now authorise. It should be on the current week that we're actually in, and you can see the example here we're using is the 8th of November 2015. Now the agency will already pre-populated a lot of this information, so they'll have already assigned your candidate into the system and assigned them to your particular home, to the particular job that they're doing. They will then add in the hours that that candidate has actually worked for that particular week. So if it's 6.5 hours, it'll be 6.5. If it's 6 hours and 3/4, 45 minutes, it'll be 6.75 and so on. So we do decimalize it. Bonuses and expenses are added into here, and you'll see an amount if there's any mileage allowance added in on that, and that will be in here as well. If there's any notes that you need to add about that particular candidate, and say for example you're unhappy about the hours that have been added in, or you're not happy with the mileage amount claimed, so you're not going to authorise that particular timesheet on that particular week, then please put a note in here so that the agency can go in and look at that and then query that with the particular candidate as well. So they'll be putting notes in there as well relevant to this particular candidate for that particular week. The agency will have already downloaded a copy of a timesheet, and the timesheet here, as you can hear, is just an example of one. It could be a JPEG of a timesheet. It could be a document file. Anything that basically gives you confidence and reassurance that the hours are as stated and somebody in the home has actually authorised it and the candidate has agreed to it as well. This is where the rating here, you'll see 5 stars, and this is where you rate a candidate from 1 to 5 stars. And again, that's really useful for you to do that, because that gives the agency some feedback as well as to the quality of the staff that they're providing for you. So having looked at all of that information on a particular line, all you then do is click on this radio button here, and it puts a tick on that particular button, and then you click save. Now you may have 4 or 5 or even a dozen candidates at your particular home, and you'll either click save for each one, or at the bottom when you've got multiple candidates you can save all and it saves. But it is important that you do click save, because otherwise the information won't be there when we come to process it at the end of the day. So that's typically what you'll do in a normal week. But we do have situations where, for example, a candidate has probably been working at home for a couple of weeks and the agency haven't put the candidate into the system or assigned the job for one reason or another. So we need to catch up with that payment, and the way we do that is we put a line for that particular candidate for any particular week, and you'll see that line in pink. So you'll go and authorise the current week as you would do normally. So you can see here that we've got the 8th of November as would be a normal week, but we can see now that for the week prior is in pink for the 1st of December. So you'll go in and you'll click approved and save on that for the current week, and you've got the 8th of November here, and you just click on previous week, and it now comes up with the 1st of November, and you can see now that this line here has all the information in that you'd normally see. So again, the agency would have pre-populated this information for you. You can click on the download to the attachment, you go in and again just rate the candidate for that performance for that particular week. You just click approved and then click save, and that's how the system then catches up with any payments that are then due, because the next time we do a consolidation that's when we catch up with all of that payment run all the way through. So 5 simple clicks to approve. So you can see here, first click to log in, just click in, click your timesheet, and it'll come up normally with the timesheet for the home that you're actually in. Click on approve for those particular timesheets, click on save, and then just go and log out, and it's as simple as that. So the typical weekly schedule is that the agency staff go in and you will book the staff from a particular agency to work at your particular home, and that could be, say for example today. Next week the candidate goes and works at the home, okay, and our working week is Monday through to a Sunday. So that's the working week. It's the following week after that, so week 3 in effect, that the activity takes place that you're doing right now. So the agency will go in and enter the hours worked and uploads a copy of the timesheet, and their deadline is to do that by Tuesday at 11. We're trying to educate them to do it on a Monday to make sure then that if something then trips over, at least they've got the Tuesday morning. But basically their deadline is 11 o'clock on a Tuesday morning. It's your responsibility then to really make sure that you do get programmed into doing this, that you go in and approve these timesheets then by Tuesday at 5 p.m. and after that we go in and do what's called a consolidation, which sweeps up all of that data and processes it through to an electronic file for Barchester for processing. So basically Tuesday 5 p.m, make sure you've gone in and approved those particular timesheets. Okay, so let's have a look at some other bits then that you can do. Is if you want to go in and have a look at a candidate and just make sure that the candidate is qualified for the particular job that they're doing. If you click then on the candidate screen here, click on candidate, you can type in Fred Blogs and click search, and up will come Fred Blogs. And by the way, I've done 2 screenshots here, so you can see. Equally, you can type in Fred, click on search, up comes all your Freds, or click on blogs, and up will come all your blogs. If you leave it blank, up will come all the candidates A to Z. But what we're going to look at now is we're going to type in, and we've typed in Simon Brown, clicked on search, and here is Simon Brown here. And to look at Simon Brown, all you do is click on his candidate profile ID, and then what happens is the candidate file then comes up, and you can look at any of the documentation. You can look at names and addresses, and we've just got an example here, so it's not fully complete, but you get the idea that you can basically go in and have a look at any of the candidate profiles by just clicking on their particular section. Have a look at then agencies. Very, very similar for agencies as well. So it's the next one along. Type in the recruitment agency, click on search, and up will come the recruitment agency. Leave it blank, up comes all the agencies A to Z. And you click on them, by the way, by just clicking on any of the blue column headers here, and it will sort it out. But basically, we've typed in medical test, click on search, up comes medical test. And when I click on that, I can then see medical test agency, and then it gives me a lot of information then about the medical test agency and telephone numbers, addresses, so on and so forth. Very, very simple to do. We've designed 247 Time to be primarily just a point and click system. Okay, so just finally, just to wrap up, the pop codes are now switched off, and invoices now shouldn't come from any agency. And again, part of our training is to educate them that 247 Time is a self-billing system. Therefore, they shouldn't just print off an invoice and send it to you anymore. Okay, so record your weekly hours as you do normally, and make sure that you go in between 12 and 5 to upload and approve those hours. And really, just to reassure you that all the information, the hours, it's basically the agency that's responsible for doing that. You just go in and click and approve, and that's really from us. So thank you very much for watching this short video. Bye now.